Welcome to this vBrownBag Tech Talk here at HPE Discover in Las Vegas. This Tech Talk, I'm joined by Alex Mejias from HPE Code to talk about what HPE Code is and some of the cool things you've been doing. So could you introduce yourself, Alex?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. My name's Alex Mejias. I'm with HPE's developer program, right? And so name's pretty long, so we just call it HPE Dev. And it's kind of curated open source projects. We're building a lot of open source around a lot of our products like OneSphere and OneView, some ILO products, things like that. It's all open source. It's a program that we've tried a few times, and this time is really concerted effort. We're really trying to make this work.
You have the executive sponsorship and the budget to make it work.
That's right, yeah, and it's sort of, we're gaining momentum really quickly. We started, I guess, in the end of November, and it's just growing in popularity like crazy, and we're bringing on more business units to help out, and it's kind of, everyone's helping on top of what their job is. So it's sort of like, it's a community that we're building in HPE, but also to the external community.
And you were talking earlier about having a process of trialing things internally and then starting to roll them out more publicly and starting with a great hackathon?
Yep, that's right. So we just recently did an internal hackathon. And so that internal hackathon was building any project that you wanted around OneSphere and using OneSphere's API. But it was very open-ended. You could build whatever you wanted. I think we had probably 50-something participants, 17 teams from all over the world. And the winner of that was actually a chat bot around OneSphere. And so you could communicate with your OneSphere instance through an online chat bot, not a Slack bot, but actual chat bot in your browser. And you could do things like troubleshooting and getting server status, things like that.
Nice, and that was all developed in the usual one-day hackathon kind of method? 24 hours with pizza and beer?
Yeah, so there was pizza. All hackathons have pizza. So one day did have pizza, and that was kind of aligned with our Deploy Fest in Colorado. That was our kickoff, right?
Yeah.
And then we gave them 2 weeks to kind of work on it, refine it, put together their presentation for the judges. And so, it's not the traditional hackathon where it's 24 hours or something like that, and you don't sleep and drink Mountain Dew all day.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more time so everyone could work together. Some of the teams were scattered across the world, so they have different time zones. And so, we gave them a little bit of time to put together their projects a little thoughtfully.
So if the chatbot was one of the projects, what other things have you been developing? What other integrations have you been working on? Particularly, you're saying OneSphere is kind of central to the things you've been developing in-house.
Fully, yeah. OneSphere is really our focus right now, obviously, because it's our new product and it's got a great API for us to build stuff around. So, we have tons of OneSphere stuff coming out. We just did an Alexa one. There's a Google Home that's coming out. We have some Siri stuff coming. We have a CocoaPod that we're going to build in open source so iOS apps can be built. Right. So we really want to start pushing into the mobile market more, and all of it's going to be open source. So, there's no IP here. It's all open source. We want people to be able to consume OneSphere, to meet their business needs. So if the UI doesn't exactly meet their business needs, they can build something on top of it. Their developers can put something together to meet their business needs for OneSphere.
And you've been building things that are kind of very topical recently. Talking about Alexa skills and
that's right.
Those kinds of things. What kind of activity has been going on there?
So yeah, with the Alexa skill, it was originally developed for a demo, right? And so that's how a lot of our code is coming out. It's through demos. And we take this demo code, for instance, the Alexa skill, and it's really single purpose. And so we sort of run it through a filter that's our developers kind of taking it and looking at it and say, okay, so how can we make this more general purpose? How can we release this to the public so everyone can consume it? So that's kind of what happened with how the Alexa skill got open source, and sort of the process revolved around that.
All right, and then what kind of initiatives are we likely to see? There's a Hack Shack here. Is there something going on here at the show?
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing hackathons here at Discover, which is great. So I think we've done 8 so far. They're 2-hour sessions. We had one this morning that was Hello World. And so this was, we actually had a great turnout for this. It was an introduction kind of to programming. And so you pick up something that you didn't know. Your first tutorial in programming is always a hello world, right? And so this is their hello world. And if you're a programmer, then pick up something that you don't know and push it as far as you can. But you have to start with hello world.
But hello world in a lot of languages is like one line, but in something like Perl, it's about 400.
Exactly. And so if you're experienced and you wanted to test yourself, then that's perfectly acceptable. We had some really cool ones. There was an iOS app that came out. A gentleman built a Python quiz that was awesome. And these are all first lines of code these people were writing. So.
And what kind of people are you having turn up to these then? Presumably they've got an engineering mindset.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like kind of team leads, maybe worked with some BASIC way back in the day, former engineers, but now working more with the strategy side of things.
Right.
And so that's really our turnout. Not as many developers, but people really willing to learn, which is great.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a huge amount of developer focus at this conference so far, and I guess that's something that you're trying to build out with the dev team.
Yep, and that's what we're talking about. So we're back here in the corner over here, kind of tucked
You're in the
away.
other corner, away from our stage
exactly.
corner?
We're definitely on the other end of the stadium here. So we're going to put it in the middle next time. We're talking about it. Hopefully that happens. I think that would be great. It would kind of show our shift towards software, that we're trying to be a software company and a hardware company, and really putting some more resources into software and developer enablement.
And where do you see the future of this dev team effort happening? What are other things we're going to see outside of HPE as you develop this?
Sure, yeah, I hope it keeps growing, and I hope it grows to a more external community, so it's not just HPE centric, and we have a community that's thriving, that's self-sufficient, and that's the great part about open source, is you get to a point where there's enough external contributors that it becomes self-sufficient, and we can help maintain a project, but it's also being maintained by people who are using it, outside of HPE.
It starts to build a life beyond HPE, and
yeah. So we're seeding it and trying to fertilize it and let it grow, and then someone else can start to help take care of it, and we have a community around it.
Great. I know you're planning to. One of the things that a lot of the developer advocacy is centered around meetups and in-person activities. Are those on the roadmap in the nearest future?
Yeah, they're gonna start soon. So I think meetups will probably start in a few months. And like I said, we just did that internal hackathon, sort of as a pilot. And what's happening here is our first time doing hackathons. So we're just understanding the lay of the land, right? Until we, and then we'll move to more external community, start to invite outside HPE. So yeah, we'll start to see meetups probably around the Houston and Palo Alto areas, and it's going to be, strictly technical, no marketing, no suits. We're developers, and we're here to engage and help collaborate and build cool stuff.
So that'll be happening out over the not terribly distant future. What are the ways that right now, today, people can interact with the HPE dev efforts?
Sure. So our main portal is developer.hpe.com, and then you can join our Slack from there. And our HPE Slack, is going to be a great resource for anything open source. We have an HPE dev channel on our Slack, and so yeah, we really want to build out that community so we can all have a single place to communicate and sort of collaborate on projects, troubleshoot with each other.
Cool. It sounds like a really good effort, and hopefully you can hit that critical mass where you get enough external contributors to bring on a life of its own and that proper open source development experience and community.
Yep, exactly. That's what we're hoping for. We really want to, like I said, plant the seed and sort of grow this community around it and let it become self-sufficient.
Well, hopefully we'll talk again at Discover in Madrid at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And we'll see some more developments. And thank you all for joining us.
Great. Thank you, Oscar.